Hello.
What up?
Hi.
The beautiful people. How are
Ah,
y'all?
I love all of your faces so much. That's why Wednesday is my favorite day. And look, we already got Rakasha in the building. Hey, girl.
VIP.
So you know that means that we can like officially start because Rakasha's here. Hey, Keith.
Keith, VIP's in
Yeah,
the building. Ready to
yeah.
pop some bottles.
Pop some bottles. So I am excited for tonight because it's about wrestling movies, and everyone I think right now is talking about Iron Claw movie coming out in a week or so. December 22nd. It's released
Yep.
in theaters. It is about the Von Erich family. And if you don't know who the Von Erich family is, I would do a quick little Google search. But it's a very powerful film. I was able to attend a screening. Seindole, we were able to see it, and Brian too. And it's a very powerful film. I think it's gonna definitely be nominated for an Oscar. Zac Efron, Jeremy Allen White. Who's the actor that plays Fritz?
Holt. What's it? McConaughey.
Okay, well
Yeah, Holt
did
McConaughey.
an amazing job playing Fritz Von Erich, and it's a great movie. We don't want to say too much because we really do want you to see it. And we're going to be obviously doing some reviews at some point about the movie. So please make sure you go see it and bring someone that one appreciates good movies. It is heavy, I will warn you, but just appreciates good movies, even if they're not a wrestling fan, because it touches on a lot about sibling dynamics, family dynamics, masculinity, and all so many different things. So go see that film. Keith, of course. What are you drinking on this Thursday, Wednesday? I would have known.
It's time to give a shout out to Keith. He's a little sick right
Mm,
now. So I gave
feel
him a
better.
concoction that may or may not make him feel better. It includes whiskey. So I'm gonna just
Feel
answer
better,
that for
bro.
you.
Feel better,
Yeah.
Keith.
So we gave
Whiskey
him the
always
old
makes
Russian
things better.
remedy. We
I
gave him the
love
old
that.
Russian remedy. So we hope he feels better. And I hope
We
he's
hope you feel better, Keith.
yes.
I guess you guys had a fun night. I see you got your NXT Deadline poster from Saturday. How was the
Oh, and
show?
I got a hat. Finally, took me forever to get that stupid hat, but I got a
What
NXT
hat?
hat. I got an NXT hat.
Like a fitted?
Um, yes, I'm gonna show you. I'll show you after because I have to kind of get up and get it.
Mm.
But it was so much fun. Now, and shout out to Justin and Mimi and Corey on the Turnbuckle Talk because I talked about it. I gushed about how exciting it was. It was my first floor sheet show. Don't know if I'll be doing that
Mm.
again because it was a lot.
Mm.
But
It is a lot.
is a lot. Like vision wise, it was just not my tea. We now know that. But it was so much fun. It was so hyped in there. Shout out to a couple people that I ran into. I did run into Victor in the wrestling club. So shout out to them. I
Aww.
did run into Candace, our girl Candace. You know, if you guys know, she was
Love
on the panel
Candace.
for the 4th anniversary TWG. She was also in the building. Surprisingly, we were all getting chicken nuggets. So
I
I
love
ran
that.
into her. She took the trip from Philly up to Connecticut. Janelle from Jobber Tears, Randy from Backstage Brawl was also in the building. So it was a lot of us in the building.
That
We
was
were all there.
deep.
We were having fun.
I
We
love
was deep.
that.
We was deep. We said, listen, this is NXT. It ain't black and gold, but we stay committed. We
We
said we
gonna
were
do
gonna do
it.
these shows and we gonna do it.
So we
Um,
calling this black and yellow?
we call this black and yellow. It's not black and gold.
Black
It
and
is
Black and
yellow,
not
black and
black and
yellow, black
gold.
and yellow,
It's
black and
definitely
yellow.
black and yellow.
Oh, that's
But they
strong.
definitely because it would
Hello.
be unfair. Like they're their own era. It was a whole. You could tell it was a completely different era of NXT. It was not 2.0 at all. This was a
Mm-hmm.
completely. It did give vibes, but it was a completely different setting. To me jumping up and losing my voice because Trick Williams pulled off a Tracy McGrady the way that he did.
Yo,
The
that girl
32
building
got
was
points,
on.
33 seconds.
real.
If you know,
Yeah,
you know.
those are not overhyped cheers you guys hear. Those are real life cheers. The whole building erupted. You heard whoop that trick, free that trick
Oh
gonna
my
whoop your ass. You heard it
god.
all. Like they were rooting for Trick. Braun Breaker for a close second I thought he had that shit. I'm gonna just put it out there. Like the way
Yeah.
he came out swinging like he was Conor McGregor trying to get a quick knockout. Even Josh Briggs, like he impressed me. I was like, why didn't they give this guy more of a chance? I know he's in the tag team. He thoroughly impressed me. You know, the match with Ilya Dragunov and Corbin was the perfect finish to the pay-per-view. Blair Davenport was on no one's prediction cards, but it was a great showing out for her to become the Iron Survivor. Kalani Jordan, chef's kiss. She was so good. She was so good.
That was my pick.
Like I was like, and it's for the close second for how many moves she pulled off. Without her, none of them would have had pins. Let's just put that out there. Without her, none of them would have had an advantage. I'm sorry, because the way she ate.
I didn't think she was gonna win, but I did think this was gonna be like that moment where she go out there and show out and just garner some more sympathy and get some more fans.
Yeah, and Nikki Booski's in the chat. She agrees. They did have really good entrances. It was really Nikki? Clean. Production was nice. Got to meet Dave. Got to see Dave from Busted Open. He was there. So they had press and everything was. It was good. It was a nice hype show. Production was A1. The crowd was A1. If you are planning to go to Stand and Deliver, do not miss that opportunity because I'm telling you, I can feel that Stand and Deliver is going to be one for the books. So
hold on a
second. Oh yeah. And I'm a meme all of a sudden.
You're going to say all of that and not bring up the lead, which is you got to see your man, your boy, the biggest defender of Philliam Brooks, a.k.a. CM Punk.
I was trying to hold it in because I was gushing. First of all, it was good because let me tell you. let me just be quick about it. I was happy that HBK came out because if HBK is coming out, HBK coming out, he had everybody happy, and then he was like, "Are you ready?" And I thought they were gonna close the lights and call it a day, but then you hear the cut, and I was like, "Yes!" I was like, "I got to see him twice." I don't care what anyone thinks. I was like, and what's the name will tell you, I was up on my seat. My phone was like this. I got the best picture ever. Like I got a good header picture. I texted you.
I was like, only he will pull up to this fucking. This pay-per-view because Seindle's in the building. Like he did that for you.
He did it for me. Listen, he came for Cora. He came for Cora J too, but I'm willing to share the spotlight. He came for Cora, but I'm willing to share the spotlight. But it was good to see him. He would look like he was having fun. It was like a slight chance that I thought he would really join NXT to bring up the undercrowd, but we're glad he's with Raw because we're gonna get what I want.
That he came out in.
It could still.
I love that hoodie. I respect the petty.
I mean, he went back to Florida yesterday, child. So never say never. We now learn what never say never means.
Hell can freeze over. That's what about.
Hell was freezing.
It was freezing. It was. It's like below. It's Chicago temperature in that bad boy. Let's just put it that way. But all in all, yeah, he did it for me. And then I'm now a meme, thanks to somebody on Twitter because I posted myself dancing.
Oh yeah.
So now when you think of whoop that trick.
We saw your little trickgasm, so it's like, bruh, let me see handle.
Trickgasm is wild.
Right.
I managed to cleanse the timeline, so no, I was happy. It was it was good.
And also traveling to shows hits different. Like doing a road trip, going like it just hits differently. And
yeah,
I know how much you love NXT.
Yes, and then on top of that, my favorite thing was that I finally got to go to WWE headquarters. Like I got to you see the picture with me doing the HBK sign. We went there after the pay-per-view. It was dark. It's kind of empty in Stanford. Let me not lie. It's kind of dead down there. But that building brightens up the entire street. So we were like, no. We were like, no. We're going to stop. We're going to take pictures. Shout out to Keith because he was dancing. He was like, listen, we're just going to make this U-turn and stop. We all took pictures. We all posed. I got to do my clobbering time pose. It was just fun. It was one for the books. It's definitely the best way for me to end my year. Was just being able to just be myself. And I want to shout out Keith and our boy Nesto for that. He just joined the family. We had a fun road trip. So again, if it comes back, we're all going. Like we're all going.
Absolutely. I planned to go, but it was like this weekend was just not the weekend I needed to fucking chill.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought about it, and the funds were like, hold up, you thought you still got WrestleMania hotels to finish paying off? You got AW
That
Revolution in Charlotte that you're considering?
When's that? That sounds fun.
That is February, March.
It didn't hurt that I was like, damn, I wish everybody was here, but then me dropping another 130 to go see Punk at the holiday show. But that's here nor there. I was like, that's on my mind, but I refuse to go it alone. I refuse to go this alone. Somebody needs to come with me because if I might lose my shit.
It's on the work day.
So, whose birthday?
It's on a Tuesday.
It's on a work day, so I can't.
Oh, I see.
If
well, you ain't going to the Baltimore show?
I'll go to the Baltimore show because it's close, but it ain't gonna have Punk.
Yeah, we got Jimmy and Uso though. And Dom Mysterio. No, I don't think we got Dom.
Okay,
I got the email saved, so
I'm done. Did you say
that the last one? You saw how good the show was.
Like, okay.
He's like, well, you guys got something. Let's move on.
Hold on, we got a stack card. You know,
y'all do.
Yeah, I know y'all got Punk, but still, we got a stack card.
We got Randy, so we get Randy.
Listen,
Randy live.
He's supposed to. You guys have another show on February 6th, Raw, don't you guys? Or am I reading the calendar wrong?
We do?
I think so.
I could check. I can tell you. The holiday show, we get Randy, we get Kevin Owens.
Oh yeah, that was another thing. NXT didn't do better than their merch because I wanted a Tiffany Strat I'm hot shirt and they ain't had that. They had other shirts. I was like, I don't want to chase you shirt. I want a Tiff that's hot shirt, but you know.
That's the only thing sometimes in NXT.
Did I get a shirt? No, I want a hoodie. Fuck all that.
Yeah, I want the hoodie.
I do.
I need the hoodie.
I need to get a Yeet shirt too, though.
I have an abundance of wrestling shirts that are just chilling in my closet and have not been touched in probably months. If it's a hoodie, I will wear it. If it's a t-shirt, that's wasting money at this point.
Because
I hear you. You're not gonna wear it, yeah.
It's cold, man. Why am I gonna wear these t-shirts? It's like, bro, if it's not gym attire or hoodie, I'm not touching it.
Well, you're gonna need a hoodie. You're gonna need a hoodie for Philly, so I definitely do want to eat hoodie.
I still got plenty of Wale Mania merch from Dallas that hasn't been touched yet.
Oh wow!
That will be coming out for Philly. Yeah, that's getting saved for Philly.
Yeah.
All I know is the weather better be nice, so ain't nobody will never stop hearing the end of my mouth.
It's Philly.
It was cold in California, so I'm gonna assume that it's gonna be cold
in Cali.
And
the weather held up nice for New York for 35.
Yeah, that's true.
It's Philly, y'all.
Philly, it's not gonna be cold, Nikki, but
it rained after WrestleMania went off the air, but it was also like 60, and the rain held off until after WrestleMania because it was supposed to rain that day. But God was like, nah, we're gonna give you some heat. We're gonna give you a little bit of daylight. We're gonna wait on this rain until after WrestleMania, and then
Matt
unfortunately, we're gonna let it rain.
So Matt, we gonna say Uptowns.
Oh yeah,
But I'm glad you got some Uptowns for Wale Mania. I see Vaughn said he bought his VIP.
She's such a Bronx girl. She's a New Yorker. She's like, no, they all call Uptowns. Okay,
they are Uptowns.
Y'all ever heard like Forces?
You too, Justin.
Yeah, Forces.
They're Uptowns. All I think of Air Force Ones is the fucking Nelly song. I need to pair.
I love
so I like me.
Right. So
they're Uptowns.
But see, that's what I mean. Ain't nobody say. I think the first time I heard about Uptowns, I think because my cousin told me around the time they was hot, but he heard it on like Rap City or something like that.
Okay, my suggestion, because I don't know this conversation, Nikki, have you a nice little chalk line hoodie on deck if you can get one, because in case it get cold on you, you can have it. But yeah, it depends how April. It rained our first WrestleMania. My first WrestleMania rained, and then I think the next year, the rain held up when we were going to the watch party, didn't it? And then it was like afterwards till everyone was going home. Yeah, so just be prepared.
And to answer your question, Seindole, no, we do not get.
They don't. Yeah, I just checked.
It's not gonna be that cold.
It ain't gonna be no damn turtleneck cold. Come on now, y'all.
Like shorts, weather, like
again,
what I thought it was gonna be in California.
People thought WrestleMania 35 was gonna be like cold. It ended up being like 60 and warm, and anyone that was in like long sleeves had to take off like a layer. It wasn't until at the very end for the main event, with the women's triple threat, where it actually got cold and it was like, oh shit, this shit's about to rain. But the rest of the day was like, yo, this is abnormally warm for like beginning of April.
Yeah, seriously.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm excited about Mania. Everything is just kind of like on this momentum right now, like going
I
into
am
Rumble.
manifesting Carmelo Hayes versus Trick
Yeah.
Williams for WrestleMania weekend. Father God, Shawn
Ooh,
Michaels.
I love
Shawn
that.
Michaels, I will not make
For
fun of
Stand
you
Deliver?
for 6 months if you give us Carmelo and Trick and wait for that feud until WrestleMania week. You give us
He ain't
that,
fucking
I
with
will
you.
not say shit for 6 months.
He ain't fucking with you. You made too many eye jokes. He ain't fucking with us. He might take it away
Look,
from us.
he gonna do it because he got CM Punk that's gonna help him, in backstage booking and stuff.
Oh,
Well,
Yeah, that's
okay.
the now thought that Punk wants to, maybe succeed Shawn Michaels with
I think that'll be
NXT.
pretty dope.
I think so too. I think
As
that's what
long
he
as he
was
don't,
trying to do.
as long as he don't piss nobody off, because Phil.
Nikki, you better bring your
I
ass
don't
to
know.
Philly.
I've been hearing good things
Yeah.
about him backstage.
I feel like I just see this like new life with him. And
Okay,
I
we're
just
not putting Rhea with AJ Lee. Y'all stop it. That girl cannot. That girl, she's a writer. AJ Lee's a writer now. People, we need to let that go. Let her have
Why
a little
you
spot in
do
the Royal
that?
Rumble. No, no, because it's just that's my girl. I like AJ, and I don't think she should be subject to such abuse. So let's be satisfied with the
Bella,
fact
it's
that
like we said, like a previous
we
fan
don't.
club. Like the closest I want AJ to a ring is the fucking performance center.
Right.
That's
Do
it.
some
Let her be a
coaching.
coach.
She could do
Let
what
her
she's doing
bestow the
in
knowledge
WoW.
on the people, on the children. That's it.
I ain't gonna
Thank
lie.
you.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I would love an AJ Lee versus
Everyone.
Roxanne Perez match.
That'd be dope.
No, Cora J was giving me AJ Lee vibes last night.
Yeah, her too.
Like
She was giving me AJ Lee vibes when she
had
popped out of
that
nowhere
magnetism
and
about
popped
her.
Lyra. When she popped Lyra, I was like, ooh, oh. And she was
Is this
like,
not the best class of women in NXT? Meaning they more of them feel like they could be main eventers. Because like even when the 4 horsewomen were down there, it felt like it was them, and then everybody else was like right here and almost being fed to them. But it feels like you could interchange any of these ladies right now
Yeah,
and
they're
put them in
all
a main
good.
event.
And they're all unique too. Like
Yeah.
they all have very distinct characters. Like they don't blend into each other. Like, because I've been tuning in a little bit more and I'm like, wow, this is like actually like really, really good shit. And like when Nikita Lyons being back, like it just adds a lot.
Suplexes Texas. Let's go.
I actually love that. Did you make that up or was that like her thing?
Oh, you forget when like Nikita took off and fucking Black Twitter, Latino Twitter, and wrestling Twitter figured her out and was just
I
like
love how many
the
Twitters
joke
was
Yam Yam Bigelow, Suplexes Texas, like bro.
yo,
Oh,
Sticky
fucking
Lions is
the
where that
Jericho
came
list
from.
was
Sticky
all of
Lions.
Nikki. The Jericho list was all of like AKAs for Nikita Lyons.
Yeah, I agree with Nikki's comment. NXT right now, like their production is good.
1,000%.
They are really booking the best weekly show, which is why I feel like when they move to CW, the rumor rumbling is that they may move to Wednesday. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know, Tony.
That's some spiciness right there. Because
yeah,
also
we
nobody's
don't
competing
know.
with NXT booking right now. Like everything that y'all are saying, like nobody is competing with that. Not even Raw and SmackDown. I hate to say, like it just seems way more captivating. Like, or maybe also a lot of it's like the newness of it too. Where it's like, you get excited about Becky Lynch, but it's like you kind of seen almost everything she's done in like every way. But like with NXT, everything is new. Like everyone's doing it for the first time. Then you see growth in people too. And like I know you watch Level Up.
Oh yeah, Level Up is just Level Up is just
there to
Level Up is just as good. That's how I was put on to Kalani Jordan because I was like, it came on after SmackDown. I just left it on, and even like the women that you saw in the breakout tournament, they were even you could see their actual growth. Like some things they missed, some things they didn't. They were going up against current NXT superstars, which I think is the perfect formula. But when you get to see their development little by little, which is why I'm so excited about the men's breakout tournament. Because the guys that I've seen in the men's breakout tournament, I feel like are the perfect guys that are in this tournament. It kind of made me, He's my pick. Baby, are you kidding me? You think I'm going to go against the Brethren? He's the first Grenadian NXT WWE signed superstar. You think I'm going to go against him? I'm sad that my Nigerian brother didn't make it out, But he showed out, and I was happy. A lot of people were thinking that Miles Bourne, because he has that angle with Drew Gulak and being in that fraction, was going to make it. I was like, no. Femi got it, baby. I'm telling you, and look what he did. Bam. When you tell me if all these Omastapians out there, they think they love them some Omas, wait till they see Femi drop on the scene. He is good. Dion's so good. Even Riley Osborne, who's like I guess he's like the fan pick right now. He's really, really good. He gives me cruiserweight vibes. So all the guys in the tournament are really, really good. If they were to put that shit on a Saturday, game over. I'm sorry. I'm telling you, if they were to, because literally move it to a Saturday type thing, because right now it's doing good after SmackDown. If you want to watch some new content, it's doing good after Saturday, but it's only streaming. But if they were to give it a platform,
that's Saturday morning wrestling.
It's a wrap. I'm sorry.
I mean, they could now that college football is in bowl season and not regular season, so Saturdays are kind of freeing up.
But and we had growing up, we had Saturday morning wrestling. Obviously, I don't remember college football at the time, but just thinking, if you imagine you had a 10 o'clock Saturday show during the fall, that gets you ready, and then you go into your college football.
Right.
Yeah.
But I would say this though, Raw's been cooking. The thing about Raw is at the end of the day, it's 3 hours, so it's
on a Monday fucking night.
Yeah. But and then with the rumors they could move, no, don't do that. Don't mess up my Mondays. For 30 plus years, I've been used to this.
I don't see them moving it from Monday. It's a staple for Monday.
That's true, but
I don't think I can handle that much change.
Right, money
it's a lot.
I just got real anxious.
The money talks, though. That money
I
is
understand
barking.
that, and realistically, it can get changed. I'm just saying that it's just going to be very hard for me.
And I don't think it will, especially because they're not taking big blows. Let's be real. Right. Monday Night Football hasn't been good since it went to ESPN. When it was an ABC staple, and Raw was putting the ruthless aggression era against that. They was putting the obviously the attitude era against that. So I think it'll survive. But I look at it the storylines on Raw are cooking, but it's so much filler. So sometimes it is difficult. But you look at just some of the smaller storylines, right? Right. Jimmy and Jey Uso and Drew McIntyre, right? Then you got, Akira Tozawa and R-Truth are on the same show. So this is already going to be funny. You got the Judgment Day. Obviously the women's tag team, because we can talk about the belts all we want, but we got to admit, Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, they've been cooking because they're entertaining at the end. Yeah, I can't do it. That's Samantha Irvin. She got the Samantha Irvin signature. But I've been enjoying it. And then last week, CM Punk and Seth Rollins. My goodness, that was everything. I was like, are y'all happy now?
I had a Seth gasp because I was just like, bro, this is the best I've ever heard you on a fucking mic. And it's not shots at Seth Rollins, because Seth Rollins can cut great promos, but this was something else. And then when you see there is no producers listed on this, so it's so you hooked off from the heart. You were just give me a live mic and I'm just gonna fucking rip you a new one because I gotta get my lick back. You pull up on Friday Night SmackDown talking shit, mentioned me without mentioning my name, but you brought up my wife and saying I'm not even the man in my own household. Nah, son, I'm coming both guns blazing. And he did not disappoint.
Listen, when I heard there was no producers list, I was like, oh, you said that with your whole chest. You said that from the bottom
heart
up. He was like, from the bottom of my heart, I hate you. And the fact that he said, listen, Punk, you my boy, but if it had to be somebody to call you out on the fact that you calling this place home after you left home and you talked all this shit about how the foundation sucks and the grass ain't green and the electricity don't work, and then you want to come back to the same house you shit, not me. You gonna hear from me, baby, and nobody better than Seth Rollins to tell him all that stuff. Because if it came from a Drew McIntyre, I'm like, Drew, you did the same thing, so shut up. But if
he for defending WWE and some of his not good
times,
You know, they called him a company, this, that, and the other.
Right.
But
That's why it says like, I want you to fail so I could be the one that boots you out for good.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to
It's
be,
like,
if I'm a
ooh.
WWE guy, I will be the real guy to defend this is my house. This is our home. You left this home. You care about the fans, but you left us. So now, two things are going to happen. Either I'm going to beat you and expose you for what you're really here for, or you're going to win and I'm going to watch you self-destruct and show that you're really everything that you were against at one point in time. Seth,
Yep.
bravo.
And that
Yo,
just
Seth
makes us
said to his
Bravo,
damn
Seth.
face, you
watch
are
it
on.
to see what ends up happening. Like whether you hate CM Punk or hate Seth or love Seth and love CM Punk, like either way, because of everything Seindole just said, like you are gonna tune in. Like I am tuned all the way in.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, 1000%. Seth said it directly to his face, like, yo, you are on Farrar Watch. This best of the world shit is just hyperbole for you where I live it. And then even Punk was like, all right, noted. This is your one time I'm gonna let this shit slide because you gotta get this off your chest. Next time, I'm firing the fuck back. And by the
Oh,
way,
yeah.
I'm gonna jump in the Rumble just so I can win it and then come for your fucking title.
it's a maybe.
It's a maybe.
He said
Because there's two
maybe.
people that got to finish the story.
And it's
Just
like,
saying.
ooh, is that you cooking right now? Are you chefing in the ring?
He was
It
cooking.
would be even funny if both of them failed to finish the story of WrestleMania 40. And
Because-
it's Roman and Reigns. Roman and
Dreams
Rollins.
deferred.
I mean,
Dreams deferred. Oh no! Listen,
You might as
the
well put that on
people.
a hoodie, and I'm wearing it all fucking Mania season. Dreams deferred.
There's people that listen. There's people that want Mr. LA Knight to win the Rumble. So we don't
and
know.
it would make sense.
We don't know. We don't know.
I don't
know,
like
man.
him winning Rumble, but
Like
I
it's
do have a
simmering
different
down.
match. I have a different match for him, and it involves a certain what's the word? Influencer and a certain United States title.
I
That's
want
more
that.
appropriate.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want that. Like I want a martini. That's how bad I want that.
Give me LA Knight, Logan
okay.
Paul
I was like,
at
do you like
WrestleMania for the
martinis?
United States Championship.
Yeah.
Boom.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be because you know why it's gonna be strong. That's why.
Right.
Yeah,
I
but if
think
Jake
I like
Paul,
that better. I don't want him to run the Rumble because I don't want him to
Not Jake
dethrone any
Paul.
of the current world champions. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Give him a little American United States. Who is it right now? Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Logan Paul.
Yeah, let
and LA Knight gives me Money in the Bank vibes. Winning.
yes.
Right.
Yeah, more
Right.
than because that like the way the music hits out and then the crowd go crazy. Him running out there cashing in, it feels more like he's more Money in the Bank. But you know, it's just feel like he's just starting to simmer down a little bit. You know,
But
I don't
you know who's waiting in the wings? The
Priest.
wild card in all this, yes, is Senor Money in the Bank, and we don't know what title he's gonna go after. Because imagine in my head, and I'm sick like that because you know I like to fantasy book in my head. Imagine he's like, you know what? I'm tired of waiting between you two. Let me move around somewhere else, see what's going on. Gunther has the longest reign. Let me see if I can dethrone that.
It would keep Gunther strong. Like if some fuck shit happens and LA Knight cashes in on him. I mean he has the buzz. I wouldn't put it like I would pull the trigger on that.
I don't think that Brock Lesnar wants intercontinental. No, I don't know. I don't know how to put that.
I never heard that before. That's also.
But then again, Bobby. But then again, I never thought that Bobby would be the U.S. champion, and he was. So.
Lesnar's not signed yet. I don't see
Brock's
that
a free
happening.
agent. Brock's not missing WrestleMania.
Brock can come in with his cowboy hat and his boots
and his braids.
His singular
and his braids.
He don't got
go up to Trips and be like, go up to Trips and be like, I know you got money, but
not even that. He'll be like, I'm wrestling, and Trips will be like,
okay.
But WWE, we have so much star power right now. Like, do we really need
a
Brock match? Like, we got fucking CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, I mean, he could fucking pop up on SmackDown, but I just think it would be nice to see what they can do. Just like how it's been nice without Roman, like everything's been equally as captivating without him. Like, I want to see what they could do without Brock. Like, I think there's enough people there.
But here's the flip side to that, P. This is WrestleMania 40. If this was any other time for WrestleMania, then yeah, you could probably have Brock sit this one out, have probably Roman do something else. This is WrestleMania 40. This is the 40th anniversary. and then you're having it in a fucking in a place that is like a bedrock of wrestling in Philadelphia. Like they have a long-standing history going there and stuff like that. Like they're going all the way the fuck out. On top of this is the first WrestleMania, no Vince at all.
True.
Nada.
This is going to be sitting in
Tripp's helm. Period.
He's just going to be sitting in the skybox like the owner of the Cowboys sits every time. It's going to be interesting.
30 was stacked as far as star power in the building, right? Hogan, Warrior, San Martino, Bret Hart,
Stone Cold, Rock.
Yes, everybody who was alive was at WrestleMania 30. And I think you do that for 40 some way, somehow. Even if you don't have Brock wrestle, you know, shoot, put him in the Hall of Fame. You know, he's due for one. So I don't think you need him, but I can see him saying, "No, I want some of that," because of how great it's gonna be. I think it's more a thing where he wants to come back. You know, he's a businessman,
and there's stuff for him to do. Like, yo, Bobby needs a match, and they have history. You can always run that back.
They won one, right?
Yeah, they never got to finish that story. But now the roles are reversed because now Brock's pure babyface, Bobby's pure like a heel. So it's like, why the fuck not?
Yeah,
we ain't gonna say no.
That's true. Let's take a break and then we'll get into our favorite wrestling movies. We got Ready to Rumble, The Wrestler, Nacho Libre. Like, there's a lot that we could get into. So let's take a quick break and then we'll get all into that. The Rock discovered her based on the documentary about her family. And like her brothers wanted to be champions in WWE, and she was the one that was a star. And you can clearly see like Paige had something even at that young age. And that's why this episode is titled The One and Only, because there's no one like Paige. So The Rock discovers her and was like, I want to make a movie about you. Imagine having a biopic and you're not even like 25. Like that has to be like mind-blowing. I'm glad.
That was my favorite episode, by the way.
Oh, thank you, Seindole.
I love that episode. You guys broke Soyera down to the way that she deserved to be broken down, and it did make me watch that movie. It is one of my favorite movies. Yeah, it is one of my favorite movies. It did make me watch the movie. We should talk about that.
Yeah, with Fighting With My Family, because that's also my favorite wrestling movie, and I was really excited about it because I was a big fan of Paige, and so was my dad. So that was something that like we could actually like go watch together. So I was able to see an early screening, and I was like, oh my god, you're gonna love this. So then me and my dad went to go see it again, and what he said when we came out was like, this is a really good movie about family. Like it's not about wrestling, like it's about a family. And he also started to like appreciate Paige a little bit more after seeing it. And it was based on a documentary about her family called Fighting With My Family. And then The Rock was like, okay, yeah, I want to do a movie about you. But how did you like it, Seindole?
I mean, I loved it. I first thought it was like a comedic type movie. I'm not gonna lie. When I first watched it, it gave that vibe of like, it gave kind of a comedic vibe. It was lighthearted and funny. But then when you look at we know Paige. We know her story. She was very young. She started wrestling because it is her family business. And with wrestling families, you either know wrestling or you know nothing, or you know something else. So when it came to her, I think that the fact that it was really her brother's dream, but she ends up actually taking also part in that. And she's like, well, I'm going to do it too. If everyone's doing it, I'm doing it. And so to watch that journey and to watch her brother both go to WWE trials, and they both hear, hey, you're not there, but you, young lady, are. That I think was a great storyline to go through, because it's like we always sympathize with the woman for some point, and it's always like the hopeful of, oh, she's not good enough, and oh, she's not this, so she has to kind of claw her way to prove that she's good enough. But this was one of those first movies for me that I can act like they actually like, no, we are going to focus on you, but we're going to also focus on the backlash of what happens when it's you, and you have to realize that there's even people in your own family didn't think it was you. And I like that storyline so much. I think Florence Pugh does an amazing job playing Paige, invoking some type of passion, but also invoking some type of funny into it. The characters that were being played by some of our favorite wrestlers, I think Zelita Vega playing AJ was the most hilarious thing
So good.
ever. Even though The Rock was sneaky trying to call Punk that day because using his wife in the movie, you trying to call him, no, he ain't gonna pick up the phone at that time. But I think it
That
was
was
good.
funny.
That was funny. I think that he pulled off the story. Because also then after that, watching the documentary of her and her family, had no idea this girl was wrestling till she was 12. First of all, girl, what are you
Yeah,
doing in the
so
ring at
much
Really?
12
so
years
that
old?
she was wrestling in the womb because her mom was
Yeah,
pregnant with her for dumb long and was like still wrestling. It was
I
like
think that was good. It was really good to include all of that. And like I said, I feel like Florence Pugh puts on a performance. I feel like the movie got a lot of shine
Hmm.
because of the kind of story. It didn't tell a sympathy story. It told an empowerment story. So it is one
Hmm.
of my favorite films. At that and Nacho Libre, which I know we're gonna get into. But those two are kind of my favorite type of films to watch when it comes to wrestling. Because you could be lighthearted. It doesn't have to be like a sob story. It doesn't have to be, you know, too funny. But it was the right balance of both. So
Yeah, I
can I
would.
just say
Mm.
something real quick? I'll let you go, Brian. Is the caliber of the actors involved? Like
mhm.
Florence, that was kind of Florence's breakout role. Like she wasn't
Yeah.
doing a lot before then, and now she's like one of the biggest movie stars right now.
Yep.
So shout out to her.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I think this is the first wrestling movie that came out like once I really like understood wrestling from a bigger perspective. And because like I saw the wrestler, and the wrestler, it was out around the time like I was doing some independent wrestling stuff, but I wasn't as heavy into it. But this one, especially being a fan of Paige, and then when I first time I ever heard of her, her and her mother, just going from like obsessed with wrestling.com and some of the wrestling magazines. So like to see all this play out in the film, I thought it was great. And I thought, P, like you said, like, your dad summarized it perfectly, a movie about family.
Did you see Fight with My Family, Justin?
Of course, this is one of those few wrestling movies that like really stuck out for me, and I thought this was a WWE produced one because I was like, their movies are very miss. Although like the Marine was like a good solid one, but like for the most part it was like a miss. But like the fact that they had the WWE machine and like The Rock was behind it had my attention. But then when I watched it, I was very surprised on how good this was. And like Seindole talked about the star power. You got Lena Headey in the fucking prime of her career while Game of Thrones is on, and you got this as well. You got Florence Pugh before Black
Mm.
Widow and the Marvel franchise,
Love me
and
some
she
Leah
takes off.
though.
You got Vince Vaughn, who's been in damn near everything. People remember Vince Vaughn from Dodgeball,
Hmm.
or those movie connoisseurs know him for like the salad and like stuff like that. But like everyone knows him for like a old school, like all those like comedies and stuff like that. But then you have this melting pot that like puts out this movie about a wrestler and her family, and they pull it off, man. I was like very compelled. Had me from start to end. I was like, yo, this is actually really fucking good. Like I've actually seen it more than once. That's how good it is. It's not one of those where it's
Oh,
like, nah, I'm one and done.
I think I'm gonna rewatch it because it's on Hulu. Anyone that's in the fan
Yeah.
club right now that
That's
hasn't seen
how
it, it is
that's how
streaming
I
on Hulu.
rewatched it.
And we would love to know your thoughts. So go watch Fight with My Family at some point and hashtag TWG Fan Club and let us know what you think. Especially now, when the movie was made, Paige couldn't wrestle anymore. So it was a
Yeah.
very like
Mhm.
and like I mentioned in our Paige episode, like it has to be like a mind fuck to be like 22 years old, to have accomplished all of your biggest dreams already. At least that's what you think at the time. To already have achieved the biggest career, that you can in your profession, and then now movies being made about you. Like it's like, how do you, like, I don't know. It just seems like a lot to, for somebody that's like so young and what you
That's
can
true.
accomplish. And then The Rock is impressed with your life story.
Where like imagine The
You
Rock
know,
walking up to you and being like, I think your family's great. I think you're great. Let's just shoot and make a movie. Not a book, not a documentary. not like a Lifetime original movie. Like, no, I want a movie about you on the big
Oh
screen
God,
with
please
these
not
huge
Lifetime.
actors playing you. I want to call Lena from Scotland to come over here and play you. Like, I want her to put on a red wig and be you. I want Vince Vaughn to be a shy we putting star power behind you. That's huge.
So many heavy hitters in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like with the Iron Claw coming out, with there already being Oscar buzz around it, you have Zac Efron in it, other like really, really good actors, and telling stories about wrestling, which I think is like the coolest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a decent movie. But you mentioned The Wrestler, Brian. And Fighting with My Family, like Seindole mentioned, is like a very lighthearted movie for the most part, and it teaches you about empowerment and individualism, and I love everything about that. But The Wrestler definitely shows kind of the darker side of
Yep.
the business and kind of what happens when you're not the star anymore. For those that watch The Wrestler the whole time, and I would love to know what you guys think. I was thinking of like Jake the Snake when he was going through what he's going through, and just like holding on to like as much as he possibly can. But did you guys like the movie? Do you like how it portrayed wrestling? Like, what were your thoughts on that? Whose story does it sort of remind you of?
I would agree, Jake the Snake. I remember I watched it. Then one day, me and my sister watched it, and basically introduced her to independent wrestling that way. I said, "This is how it is." You see the people setting up the conventions, and just want that last pop and everything. Shout out to Larry Legend. He's in that movie. They recorded a lot of that during like CZW at the time. Even brother Brandon was there one of the nights they recorded it or filmed it. And it's a lot, but like you said, very heavy. And it almost in some ways kind of remind you of Ric Flair. Like last year, like in Nashville, I was scared that was gonna happen.
Right.
But yeah, definitely. And I thought Mickey Rourke did a phenomenal job in that movie, and even got a WrestleMania moment out of it
Yeah.
with Chris Jericho, which was so much fun. And shout out to that, because we was able to get another like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat match with Jericho, which was great at Backlash that year. Considering like obviously it wasn't Steamboat Savage, but it was like, wait, Ricky still can go. So yeah, I enjoyed this one.
Did you like it, Justin?
Of course, this is out of all the wrestling movies we have listed, this is my personal favorite. Like, this is so fucking good. There's a reason why this got nominated for an Oscar. Mickey Rourke got nominated for an Oscar. Marissa Tomei got nominated for an Oscar. Is because even though it's very dark, it's very deep, and it's a very layered story. Like, think of like we see it playing out in real time with like Ric Flair, someone that's like been beloved, worked everywhere. Everyone loves Rick. Rick wants to wrestle until he literally dies in the ring, and he almost died like more than one occasion. That's the same thing as Randy the Ram Robinson, where it's like his story is like someone that absolutely loves the business, loves wrestling, damn near died from a fucking hardcore match. Doctors are like, yo, do not fucking wrestle anymore. Stop taking steroids, stop wrestling, or you're gonna die. And he tries to find a life outside of wrestling, and it doesn't work. And also like there's family stuff as well, but it connects so with me, especially where it's directed by Darren Aronofsky, where it's like, bro, if you've ever seen Requiem for a Dream or Black Swan, the same dude. Whereas like his movies tend to be very dark and very deep and layered, but they don't miss. They're
Right.
really good. And this is one of those that's like, again, if you see Ric Flair's career, especially like the last 5-10 years, it parallels this damn movie almost to a T.
Yeah. It's too like I like how it showed like the layers of that, of like having to let go, or like the scene where he's at the convention where like all of the other like, has-beens, for lack of a better word, and just how like that's just a part of his life. Like that's just not something that he's going to be able to give up. And Mickey Rourke did a great job portraying that.
Yeah, shout out to him.
Yeah.
I think what's important about that film is that we joke. And before that film came out, I know there was a lot of jokes about these wrestlers keep coming back and they keep stealing spotlight. And we joke about it with Hogan and Rock. We joke about it with, like, you know, it could be even as close as appearance as always seeing Bob Backlund come at a WrestleMania or Sergeant Slaughter always do over them. But like when you look at the passion that Mickey Rourke displayed as a wrestler who's basically being told, you cannot do this. And I said this, and I remember saying this on the Big Four when we were down Punk coming back. Like I very much said it's very hard to tell someone who is passionate about something that they cannot do this anymore or they should not do this anymore, knowing that in their heart they have the heart and the grit, and if they worked hard enough to stand even a match or two, that they can really do it. That's like if I were to tell Brian, like, listen, Brian, you said some shit, you're done podcasting, hang it up, knowing that Brian is so passionate about everything he's produced, everything he's done. He's like, listen, I'll stop when I'm ready to stop. And I feel like the wrestler told that story the most passionate and most provocative way to enter the mind of, like, okay, this is what's in his mind, this is what they're going through. And just like Andre said, it is the complete parallels of the wrestlers we know. Because look at how, like, even like we joke about like the Big Show being Paul White on AEW. Like he's working AEW, but like imagine telling this if I forgot who has the stellar career that he's had, because Paul White has one of the most stellar careers. Imagine telling him, like, listen, you're too old, you're too this, you do that. We're bringing you into this company to do that, and that's it. But then you get somebody that gives him a chance to, all right, if you want to go out and have one more match, show us why. And listen, he went to the gym and worked it out, and he was able to wrestle for the moment he was able to wrestle, because it's impossible. And I think it's almost sometimes of a disrespect to tell somebody they can't do something, knowing that when they're passionate about something as much as like they're passionate about wrestling, that they can't do it. That'd be like us telling Michael Jordan, if Michael Jordan wanted to strap up his sneakers and do one more All-Star game, who the hell are we to tell him no? They're gonna shine them sneakers and make sure his bench is real nice where he used to sit and watch him play one more time until he can't.
He basically did that on the Wizards.
Dropped
That's
20.
literally what it was.
My man.
I can't be a fucking owner. I can't be GM. Like, nope.
And that's why people want to talk about Jericho. But listen, AEW gave him the chance that. Listen, perfect example: Brian, Sierra, Edge, well, Adam, Christian,
Sting.
Jericho, Sting. We told all these people to hang it up, and there's a company that's literally telling them, if you think you got enough to go, come on and go. And look at what they've been doing. They've been going. Perfect example.
So true. So I just want to do a time check. It is 8:00. We do watch Dynamite as a family in the fan club, and it's a big night. They're in Dallas, the Mount Eric family.
Winter is coming. Winter is coming.
Yes.
And we're also continuing. Yeah, they're in Dallas, and we're also continuing the Continental Classic, which I know it's people are saying it's a copy of something, but I'm enjoying it. I like what's going on. I like the point system. I like the structure of it. I already know I already give a chance to who the final two are going to be and who's going to win it, but I'm enjoying it. I'm watching it solely for that. I don't know about everything else, but I'm enjoying it.
I'm glad you like it. I'm definitely tuning in just to see kind of like that Dallas pop. Like I have to see,
and it's
that.
his
Like,
sons.
this will be the first time that they're in such a great, like a big wrestling thing like this.
Wait, what did Black Thought say?
Ooh,
he's not wrong.
Randy,
I wouldn't be surprised.
He's not wrong when you look at it.
I would not be surprised. I just also don't see him going to like other organizations. Like I think he's gonna definitely just have to scrape it on the indies.
Oh no, yeah, he already signed up for promotion.
He probably a victim of Randy Orton not being in the locker room.
I think so. I agree with that.
Randy kind of steer him in the right direction, and then Randy gone. It's like he was haywire.
Because Randy,
he ain't like him. You know that story. He ain't like him at first.
Yeah, Randy is known to, and I like what he said on Logan Paul's podcast that he didn't really think he would be a mentor, but he is a mentor. And then I flash back to the pandemic where he literally yoked up Garza because our Garza was acting the fucking fool, and he was like, "If it wasn't for the respect of the business, I'd choke your ass out. So you better get it together and pull your head from your ass." And I like because after that, Garza was on this straight, no narrow.
Yeah, and you know
Straight.
what's crazy? Now that you say something like that, he had a trajectory because he had more personality than Andrade. Andrade was just like the better worker because Andrade is just damn near flawless. But like with him and Zelina, that whole dynamic, Garza was better.
1000%.
Yeah, I agree. I think Jake the Snake is probably, for me, like who I thought about, like how that, like life after wrestling could really be, and just like how dark it could be. And then
Yeah, it definitely. You know, with Jake the Snake,
especially around that time, because you gotta remember this is what 07, 08?
Or
or 08, 09? Like that was
I wouldn't say about
sense.
that 7, 8. Wait, P, you were saying about Jake the Snake?
that's who I thought about the whole time watching The Wrestler.
Yeah.
And how hard it was, like, for his family.
Like
and
you already know
children and stuff. Like, there's some that still don't talk to him to this day.
Yeah. What was his real name? Aurelian White? I mean, Aurelian
something.
But and that's like the thing about wrestlers, like Ric Flair is no longer like he don't know who Richard Flyer is because like you talk about that pop. Oh yeah, the Mania match was 09, which was WrestleMania 25. That pop it's addictive, and I go back to I'll even go to somebody who's canceled. Velveteen Dream, when he was on Tough Enough, because he had got so over in the show. If y'all remember, they did a promo where they was introducing the characters in Atlanta on a Raw one night, and when he came out there, the fans was cheering for him, and it was like just because they liked the fans that watched the show knew like, oh wait, they connected with him because he was the wrestler who had the story. He was a real authentic wrestler. He wasn't just somebody on a reality show. And then all of a sudden, it was like you could see him like really embrace it, and unfortunately, what happened later, but it's crazy, but I could just imagine you walk out of the arena and 30,000 people screaming your name. Kind of hard to let that go.
That is not something that anyone is going to want to let go. Or there's nothing in life that will ever equate that either. Why people can't give it up.
Roberto Del Rio.
Yo, he was definitely
listen.
You're from Brooklyn, but you still smart. Like that was a good one right there.
The way I will never feel bad for that man. Never. People are mad at Punk. You know how much Sugar Honey Iced Tea came from that man's lips when he left. I will never. And then to go on and blow connections with AAA, the only company that would have shot you to the moon and left you there to enjoy it. I will never feel bad for it. Mark my lips. Never, like, never feel bad for that man.
That's a TikTok. I'm seeing cinematics go never.
So when I saw that, you know how, and Nikki Booski, if she's still in the chat, knows what I'm talking about. That meme, a Tiff from Tiff from Flavor Flav with the rose on her hair, drinking her tea and snickering. That's me. That's me. The way he spoke about his ex, the way he treated Honey, never.
Yeah, he deserves everything that he's
getting. He can boo-hoo and cry in the middle of a ring. I would look at it and go,
Yo.
As a fellow Latino, we've been done with him. Like, we trade him to the Germans for like future draft picks. Like, that's Germany's problem.
You traded him for Fritz.
You traded for Fritz.
We traded for future draft picks and contemporary money. Like, nah, y'all can have them. We'll just take whatever back.
Bro said contemporary money.
That is too funny.
Talk about a fall from grace.
You go from main event, like pay-per-views, world title to that.
And the gym's not even packed. So we can't even say, "Oh, what happened to your? Oh, other wrestlers go through it all the time."
At Jobber Slam, then in Battle Club Pro shows, then was in that gym that Alberto Del Rio called himself wrestling.
And Jobber be packing out wherever they had. They be in standing rooms sometimes, so make it make sense.
We had more shows
in a school
shows in Baltimore that only lasted 3 episodes than they had in that gym.
Yo.
Shit, Bougie and fucking Rotten tore it down better than he did.
Hello. Standing room. They left standing room. I'm just saying. But listen, karma does what karma does.
It definitely does.
Never.
So Justin, did you say The Wrestler was your favorite wrestling movie?
It is, because it's one of those like layered stories where it's like, even though it's deep, dark, and gritty, it's one of those that's like, it's just a fantastic fucking movie from start to end.
Right.
Where it's like, if you want to watch like a serious movie about wrestling, they fucking nailed it.
I think.
And you know how hard it is to get a movie like that fucking nominated for Oscars? Like a fucking wrestling movie? Like, bro, that revitalized Mickey Rourke's career.
Oh, 1,000%.
That helped launch Marissa Tomei back into the MCU and shit like that.
Yeah, I didn't even know who Mickey Rourke was, and then like later on, like my mother would be like, "Oh, yeah, this movie with Mickey Rourke," and I'm like, "Oh, that's the dude who played the wrestler," but I didn't know like he was like such a big deal.
Yeah, he was a child star.
Okay, yeah. Wow,
he's been around.
Yeah, he's been around, and I love that it was him that got to play it, because he really did a really, really good job.
Oh, that was
Shall we get into No Holds Barred? Does that count as a wrestling movie, or is it
I'll let Brian decide.
I mean, yeah, that was wrestling, you know. We got a main event of SummerSlam from it.
I've never seen it, so y'all can dive more into it.
So Brian, talk to us about the movie.
I can't remember it too much. It's like it's funny because I've seen it, but it wasn't something like I've seen it like later. So obviously, like Black Thoughts will be able to, you know, he says Zeus is why his black people that movie traumatized them. Facts, I do remember that part. And you know, shout out to the homie Jack Farmer. Jack Farmer, because we were supposed to on one of his other platforms, we were supposed to review this, but we couldn't find they didn't have like a streaming for it. So but yeah, I don't
wonder
remember
why. Hulk Hogan the lead.
hey.
You better take that shit to Tyler Perry.
But it's funny because again, you bring that up. Bret Hart said like he kind of, as he hates Hogan, we know, but he kind of like blamed Hogan for like wrestlers not being able to break through, because he said Hogan did in one of his interviews a bunch of B-list movies, and he praised The Rock for kind of like reinvigorating that whole wrestler movie transition, which, you know, obviously opened the door for John Cena and Batista, you know. But
yeah, Bret was probably mad because he's like, bro, I fucking paid money to go watch Suburban Commando in theaters. I want my goddamn money back.
but you know, Bret tried to break in, remember?
And you had the nerve to put young Undertaker in there and not me, asshole.
He tried, but
wait, young Undertaker?
Yes, that was young Undertaker in Suburban Commando.
I never seen it, but oh wow,
he's one of the two big thugs. Like, I watch it back and you'll be like, holy fuck.
Then why Undertaker hate Hogan so much? He got him a movie.
He probably put him in that movie.
Because he probably put him in that movie.
He's still mad about the Tombstone.
He's entitled. He's entitled.
The Tombstone where Hogan's head was here and the mat was here and nowhere near the mat.
Yeah,
fuck out.
He's entitled to his feelings, guys. We talked about this.
You need to build a bridge and get over it.
Hey man, you know, everybody.
I mean, I forgot about a No Holds Barred. Like, when you say Hogan in a wrestling scene in a movie, I automatically think Thunder Lips from Rocky 3. That's like one of the most iconic scenes in the Rocky franchise. Is like fucking Sylvester Stallone and fucking Hulk Hogan before he's Hulk Hogan.
Just dead on a roll. I can't.
This is why this is the best party on Wednesdays.
wow, Black Thoughts is really giving us a
He said it.
Put that up because that's exactly what happened. Like the Debo shoots it, like all of that. I'm like, it's the most but you know what? It makes for great. You know how I feel about great content. That all that chaos ends up making it one of the most memorable moments in film and TV and television because it's just wild. The whole thing is wild. I'd be like, where's the Dark Side of the Ring episode on all of this? Because none of it made sense, but it worked. That's the weird thing.
I feel like
if they did
this
Dark Side of the
Ring,
a
good segment or segue, I should say, into Ready to Rumble.
Is that the Dookie scene? I need someone to elaborate that comment in the chat.
I'm going on mute.
Wait, so
someone elaborate the fuck out of this. Is this your
first time in the club? Welcome. And what is the Dookie scene?
Do I even want to know what the Dookie scene is? That's coming from me.
That is right. That's why we don't have DX films. I can only imagine what a DX child.
No, 90s Shawn Michaels needs a fucking docu-series.
That's why he went to Christ. That's why he went to Christ now. Because, I know he had to turn his life around. He was going to burn in church.
And he always say, "Oh yeah, I don't."
Yeah, because God was looking at him like, "You got to be fucking kidding me."
No, God was looking at him like, "Stop it." Well, I'll be. he stood at the door like, "Well, I'll be," and stepped right to the left. He said, "We're gonna work on you."
Sean was like, I turned my life around. What did it cost? My wandering eye.
Justin.
The way you ain't been kicked out the club in so long, let's not ruin the streak right now. We're on the roll.
I'm never getting invited to an NXT fucking call in. They're like, Justin, I heard about you. Click.
Sean gonna look at you like, well, I'll be
the motherfucking nerve you have. I'll be like, which one I look at? This one or this one?
Shut.
That's my last one. I'm sorry. I apologize, sir.
There we go.
Go back up. What's the story?
They both said it.
Hey.
Is this on YouTube? Because now I want to find this. Hold on.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do we're gonna have to watch that because that sounds wild.
I'm willing to do a watch along for this shit because you have my attention now.
That is hilarious. So let's get into Ready to Rumble.
How are we gonna go from that to Ready to Rumble?
Because they're both fucking ridiculous. Ready to Rumble is ridiculous.
Okay.
Seindole can't hear Dookie or she laughs like
yeah, I say like Dookie, brother.
Dookie.
Oh man, ready to rumble, WCW. I'm trying to write notes.
Oh yes.
Okay. Thank you for the YouTube link. I will watch that when I'm depressed. Continue to ready for Rumble. Go ahead. Oh God.
Why can't I copy and paste?
The Lord's trying to tell you something. That's why we need to.
Yo, no, you gotta pull up YouTube. There's like a 30-second clip about that. Dookie scene is so. What's that smell? Dookie. Dookie. It will fucking make your day. My day is made. Thank you, Black Thoughts.
Thank you guys.
Thank you for bringing that up.
We appreciate y'all.
The internal cackle I let out because we're live on stream.
Cackle. I can't even breathe. I have to mute myself because I'm just like, what the heck?
It's like, why is Hogan grunting like he's fucking? First off, but then again, it's like, when was this movie made?
Yeah, I can't. I really can't with you guys.
Bubba the Lust Rounds probably saw that and got triggered.
I know. Poor Bubba.
I cannot.
Hey, yo, did you just...
He really did. Yo, this is why you're the bestest friends that anybody can have.
Yo.
We're supposed to be grown ass people here, Dookie, and start grabbing. I rest in peace to the Iron Sheik on that note. But ready to rumble.
No, it's fuck Terry. We don't know. I mean,
yeah. Terry's now Dookie Hogan.
Oh man, but yeah, thoughts on Ready to Rumble?
So I only seen a little bit of it. So it's one of those movies that's so bad that it's like almost good because it's just like this makes no sense whatsoever.
Because it was made in the 2000s, that's why. Half the movies made in the 2000s were just not it. They were trying to so it came in at a time where they were trying to revive the 90s comedy scene, I feel.
And WCW.
And WCW, yeah. And it missed the mark, but it's still an instant classic.
New world champion out of the deal.
Did that part. Not my favorite movie, but
it's
one of those movies I fall asleep on. You think so?
I think so, because I wasn't disintrigued into WCW. Like during the Monday Night Wars, I was more team WWF until Brett popped over, and then you gave me a reason to look at WCW. But other than that, it's like all my people are in WWF. Brett is fucking at the top. Why am I going to check in on number 2?
Easy.
Yeah, I know they had some great wrestlers. They had some great talent, but at the same time, remember, I was love Macho Man, but Brett's my guy. I was loyal, and I was also younger, so I was like, nah, that's my shit. And WCW, cool.
I watched WCW like secondary, like more than I watch AEW, and I watch AEW every week. But it was like if I would have still ordered the WCW pay-per-views. But you know, when they did this movie, it was like, okay, this is interesting. But by then, I wasn't watching as much WCW as I was watching before, you know, because like you said, like all my guys and girls was in WWE, but at the same time, it was just like, all right, y'all just holding on to things now at this point, you know. But this was definitely interesting to say the least.
So yeah, like the reason why they stand out more was because back then, like Hollywood was willing to take chances on movies like this because they weren't obsessed with like billion-dollar franchises and IP and based on novels and comic books and shit like that. Like they were able to do like original stories and like, yo, if it doubles in profit, cool. If it triples in profit, then fuck it, we'll run like a second one back. So you got to see like original shit like Ready to Rumble and like even black movies like fucking New Jack City, The Best Man and stuff like that. Like that's why like you see more of like the creative side back then compared to now where everything's IP related or franchises or you're building towards a franchise. Like back then it was like, fuck it, let's do a movie about wrestling in WCW. And someone's like, cool. Or like New Line Cinema or like those lesser tier Hollywood studios like, cool, go.
It was cool to see people like you know, Kurt Hennig, Juventud Guerrera, Bam Bam Bigelow. You know, it's cool to see people in there
unmasked Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, well, yeah, because that was his gimmick at the time. You know, which I always found interesting how he was able to never go back, like stay unmasked, like never go back to being unmasked. Like I for sure eventually WWE, but obviously so much money in those masks. But I always thought like maybe one day he would go back. You know, I said it had about Wolf Warrior said it had a bad foundation because David Arquette winning the title, but again, like Justin brought up, just trying shit, and that was
David Arquette was a thing. You forget the Scream franchise was fucking big.
And that's what I'm saying. They capitalized on that. Big,
they were printing scripts on like dark paper so shit wouldn't get leaked.
Yeah.
Like that's how big the Scream franchise was, and David Arquette was one of the pillars of that franchise.
And they were right to capitalize on that. However, the transition of it is just weird. That's the only qualm I have. But the transition of it was weird to me.
Yeah, and then
that's the only thing to go from Scream to that.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Black Thoughts made too in the chat. It was already dying, you know. Like I said, you know, even what was I WCW about 12, 13, And I just remember everybody shifted, and the conversations in '98 at at lunch or in church was, yo, did you see WCW? But did you see WWF? By '99, it was all about Austin and Rock and the corporate ministry, the whole nine. And it was like, oh, you still watch WCW? Sometimes, So it was already, they had that last big night when Hogan put the yellow and black, red back on, but then weeks later he was gone. But yeah, the Nitro girls on there, solid. Shout out to Shawn Michaels seeing his wife and said, I want her, But
I just said sexy boy.
I'm not your boy, toy.
I thought I was against Shawn Michaels. I used to always say I was a Shawn Michaels hater. You got me beat.
Shimmer.
Oh, no. If it's someone that I don't like, I will go to fucking.
Yeah, you could tell when Justin doesn't like someone.
But I will say this: shout out to for David Arquette. He would revitalize his wrestling career later. You seen him on the indie scene. I remember he was at GCW and doing the death matches, and he of course got a lot of flap on social media about it. But
you can tell he legit gives a shit about wrestling, unlike Ronda.
Oh, come on. She is she in the box?
I took her out and threw her back in.
Hey, I don't I ain't the EP, so I don't have kicking out of club powers.
You don't have access to the button that ejects people from this meeting.
Brian's like, Jay, you like soccer? You got one more time and I'm giving you a fucking yellow card. Next one you get tossed. It's like you're getting a stern warning right now because
you don't go on it. You don't go in that closet and press that code. Here's the code in case you need it, but don't press it until you get permission.
It's like, enough. Next one's a yellow card.
Yeah.
But Ready to Rumble is like a fun watch. That's why to this day, it's 2023. We still talk about Ready to Rumble, which shows like it comes back around. It's one of those. It's like, why am I watching this? And then all of a sudden you're like, I'm kind of invested in fucking Jimmy King and where the story's going.
Yeah, but let's transition to one of your favorite movies. Y'all both brought it up earlier. That's Nacho Libre. Because I tried. I ain't gonna lie. I tried to watch it. Maybe I wasn't in the right space. I was like, I can't get with it. Maybe I need to try another day.
So many qualms, but it's not even insulting to Lucha Libre culture. It's just funny. I can't describe. Justin probably could describe it more than me. I just find it hilarious to like have in the background and watch in case it's like a rainy day and I want to feel undepressed. I will put on Lucha Libre.
Okay.
Nacho Libre. I'm sorry. Like, it's one of those movies that is just for that. And you can't go wrong with a Jack Black performance. I mean, I remember when it first came out, and a lot of people were like, we don't get it. But if you are a wrestling fan, you get it.
Yeah, it's one of those that's like, Nacho Libre is what Ready to Rumble should have been. Whereas like, Ready to Rumble's trying to be serious and then throw some jokes in there and be lighthearted and fun. Nacho Libre is just fun. It's a dude that loves wrestling, but unfortunately he works with the kids and the fucking church and stuff like that, to where he can't openly be an active wrestling fan, but he fucks with the Lucha Libre style, and then living in this, I believe it is Mexico and shit like that, where it's like everyone looks up to Ramses number one, Ramses the greatest, whereas like he aspires to be a wrestler, but at the same time he's like, I kind of can, and he's torn on it, but it's just a fun watch, and it's one of those that's like, you could sit there with your kids and just enjoy it, because it's just like that type of like kid humor, fun humor that's more made for them than the adults. Although I love when he fucking at the end where he's doing the song and shit like that, which is always hilarious. And Jack Black, you could tell, gave it his all in this one. And so there's like Andel Almas and everything else, but like it's genuinely like fun, which makes it funnier compared to Ready to Rumble, where it's like after a while it's like, okay, fart jokes and this and that, foreign objects. It kind of gets like, But Nacho Libre is just like fun. And you get to see a different side of wrestling where it's Lucha Libre style. The seriousness of you wear your mask, you don't get your mask, you don't take off your mask for anything is a big ass deal when you take off your mask. And him being a foreigner trying to get involved in the Mexican style of wrestling and shit like that. It's a very fun watch.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna check it out. It's one thing when it comes to movies and music. I trust your opinion. So, because I don't know how you do it all. Movies, music, podcasts. Usually somebody like can't expertise in all. Oh, in sports. So shout out to Justin Rich. Make sure y'all subscribe to Justin Rich Talks, because this is what he do.
I watch a lot of things, man, but movies, that's my jam, man.
Wait, but see, again, I thought music was your thing. I thought
it is
your thing. But it's like you got it all down pat. I'm like, okay. But
I can multitask.
Yeah. Speaking of Andrade, he's about to come out, which means we're gonna get CJ Perry. In this tournament. How y'all feel about CJ Perry and Andrade?
I feel like this is a waste of her talent.
Really?
Spirit, yeah.
I feel like
but I like that they didn't do the generic thing, which is putting her with her husband. I like how they didn't directly put them together yet. Like they're trying to tie everything together, which I like. But I like that they didn't put her with her husband. I get why it's Andrade and not Miro. My hope was that she would wrestle. But I don't think they're quite. Maybe it's a decision that she made that she doesn't want to do that there. And also never say never. So that's my thought process on it. But I like what they're doing. Yeah, this is what Zelina Vega should have been before they did what they did, in my opinion.
Well, Andrade wanted more, and according to reports, he wanted more, and basically wasn't ready to wait his turn. He was told to, learn English.
He's gonna end up going back anyway.
Yeah, he'll be back.
He'll be back eventually.
Will he be able to say he's home? Will he be allowed to? Because Seth Rollins got that on lock. He tell people who can stay home and who can't.
I feel like he can.
I think it's harder for Andrade because Andrade's home is really Mexico, where he was La Sombra and like the biggest he was the John Cena of Mexico. So that's a little harder for him to be like, WWE's my home, especially where even then, like, it was NXT. Like, that's where we really remember you, and your pairing with Zelina. Like, WWE was like, it was solid, but it wasn't the NXT run, and it definitely wasn't the Mexico run.
Yeah. But
I do like CJ being paired with him because, again, like, everyone expects her to be with her husband, but also Andrade did his best work when he had Zelina. And one thing CJ can do, she can talk on a mic, and she can give you character, ringside, she can cut promos and stuff like that. The in-ring stuff wasn't her forte, but God bless her for really putting her work in and trying.
She's an Hollywood actress.
I want to bring this up. We'll get back to Nacho Libre because I don't know if we didn't talk about it. El Generico and King and Nacho Libre, all same backstory from King from Tekken, the video game. Justin, what you think about that? Seindole, what you think about that?
I don't know about King. El Generico.
No. El Jericho does have the same. That I'm not gonna lie. When I think of El Jericho, I think of Nacho Libre. But here's the thing: as somebody who's watching that whole thing, who's watching the El Jericho movement in Ring of Honor, I was like, yo, I wonder if that's where the inspiration. I always wondered. I feel like if I ever interviewed Sami Zayn and just to ask a dumb question, I would literally ask him, like, were you inspired by Nacho Libre? And if he tells me no, I'll swallow it. I'll leave it alone. But I feel like that watching that happen after watching the movie, I was like, I always wondered if it was inspired because it is the same thing.
Okay.
Even though, Sammy is really, we found out he's Syrian, but there nor there. I feel like it could have been. You know what I mean? Like, because let's be real, Lucha Libre wrestling is awesome. Like, my first real, sit down to watch it was actually watching Kenta go up against Io Sky. And Lucha, that was the first time I ever really watched it.
Kenta?
Not Kenta, sorry.
Oh.
She had a match in Lucha. She actually wrestled a guy in, I think it was Lucha, when had that short stint in Lucha Underground, and she wrestled a guy. I was like, wait, this actually... Penta, yeah. Sorry, not Kenta, Penta. That was my first time ever really watching it. And then I started watching Lucha Underground. I was like, okay, it's pretty cool. It hurt my feelings when they...
Salute to Lucha Underground, because they were...
It hurt my feelings when they... Yeah, they had some great content. They had great stuff.
So when back in the CZW days, I got a chance to talk to Strickland about this, and he was saying it really helped him as far as learning how to act, and like camera position, and then they were spending money, like whatever ideas they had, they would spend money. And I wish when Lucha Libre debuted, I was in Connecticut, and it was like they only had the Spanish version, so I couldn't really like get attached to it. Like I would watch it and see the wrestling and somewhat get into the stories, but I couldn't really take it the way I like. Couldn't really get into it the way I wanted to. The way like because then when I moved back to Baltimore, I was like, oh, they actually have the English version here.
Mm-hmm. And that's when John Morrison was able to be his fucking best there. Like he really went down there.
John Giannetti?
Yes, it worked. It was like, why did you take this man off my screen when I watched him wrestle down there?
Fuck.
What?
Sorry. I know it's non-wrestling related, just breaking news. Draymond got suspended indefinitely.
Who?
Are you serious?
Draymond Green, superstar from the Golden State Warriors, just got suspended indefinitely for.
He's coming to WWE.
Send him down to Sean.
I mean, it could possibly happen because per Rose, like the whole Warriors management is setting up like counseling and like all types of shit he has to do in order to come back on the team. But it indefinitely is gonna mean like, yo, what are you doing for Rumble?
Yeah,
you ain't gonna be hooping.
I mean, the best thing about indefinitely, it could be a day too.
Oh, nice.
I mean, it won't be, but but yeah, I'm a Draymond Green fan, so I don't think he did it
indefinitely.
Black Thoughts, that's right, because he did put Rudy Gobert in like that Samoa Joe fucking sleeper. He's like, go to sleep.
He was like,
was personal.
He was like, this was starting COVID. You made us play in a bubble.
Yep.
But he was like, shh, 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 shh.
Yeah, he hit him with that Undertaker. Shh.
It's okay. Man, this is.
Hey, Rudy Gobert's like, Jesus, I'm about to join you. 30 more seconds. The upper room.
Oh man, Draymond versus CM Punk. That would be hilarious.
You know what I kind of want to see? That's not gonna happen. Can Draymond fuck with Grayson Waller and Austin Theory? Like they try to interview him for the Grayson Waller effect. And Draymond just starts
I can see I can see the same way that they like Miz try to get Bad Bunny to like shake his hand. I can see them doing the same thing with him, and he just be like, okay, and just walk away and piss them off to the eternity where you have a match. I can just see that whole thing in my head because. I'm not fucking with Draymond Green. Not after that. I'm sorry.
Draymond Green versus Grayson Waller at WrestleMania. Book it.
Book it.
Yeah, he's about to get
Trips.
He's like, oh, you got Austin Theory in corner? Here comes fucking Dennis Rodman being fucking
wrestling movies, man.
Because Rodman's wrestled.
Draymond in the next wrestling movie.
What's it gonna be called? Fighting with his conscience?
Everybody give Draymond a bad rap, man. Look, he ain't hit that. He was just swinging, Pause. He didn't mean to hurt that man. He apologized. I don't get it.
He didn't mean to hit that man. He threw that hand back like, Pyaw!
You're like, if
unhandy child. Pyaw! He knew what he was doing.
No, man, he done worse. Like the Rudy stuff, he should have been suspended definitely.
Maybe he just got a flashback. I mean, he is from what, Michigan, like Detroit, like the Michigan area. So maybe he got like a flashback of like something, which was like, oh, sorry, reaction. My bad.
Listen, Detroit is a hard place, bro. It's a hard place. I'm just, I can attest with that. It's a hard place. So you never know what triggered him. But do you think it was a long time coming?
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah. After that punch,
after he kicked was it OKC like dude in the nuts? I was like, yeah, Draymond, you be getting away with some bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
It's just now that he's not like an elite player, now it's more the shenanigans it's more shenanigans, less like hooping versus him hooping like great, and then you gotta deal with the shenanigans a la like Dennis Rodman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you talked about it. Wow, what a day. But yeah.
What a day.
Any other movies that we might have missed?
With wrestling involved, Damn, that's hard because like the other ones I can think of like may have like a segment or two in wrestling, like a Rocky 3, but it's not like a movie about wrestling. It's just a movie that has like a scene in wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I definitely, one of the things that I'll be excited when we can talk about the Iron Claw. Just like you said, just seeing with the actors that like really take on these roles. You know, like we talked about Mickey Rourke, we talked about the people from Fighting My Family. I'm not the best with names and actors and actresses, and tell you that now. That's y'all expertise. But just to see, like, because they're out there in some cases actually taking bumps, you know, or
Yeah, like
doing.
with Jeremy Allen White, I think everyone's so infatuated with him because when he said, and I know you guys were at that Q&A, when he said what he said about not really understanding wrestling until he started doing the training and everything, I was like, this kid gets it. He wasn't just doing it for the check. He's an artist. So for him to say that and bring the highlight of, listen, we may joke like, oh, you're too old to be watching it or you watch wrestling, but like when you really get into what it took to get to this level and why these people do what they do, you appreciate it. I think that's what the wrestling community needed out of this film, for people to understand that it's not all what you see The Rock doing or what you see John Cena getting or what you see is polarizing because the McMahons built this. Like there's stories and tales that you don't know from people who sacrificed their lives to do what they love, and this is one of those movies that's going to show one of those scenarios. Because like even the history of the Von Erich family, and I was talking to someone about it a long time ago when I watched the Dark Side of the Ring episode. They said they watched that just to watch that, and they didn't realize that you can go from building something with the people that you imagine building something with the people you closely love, but at the same time, it's also the thing that takes them away from you. That's like, think of that for a second. It's something you love to do, huh? It is. It is like it really is. Like you love this business so much and you put your all into it, but then it takes so much away from you. Like how do you bounce back from that? And with Kevin, like that's why I'm like I'm so gun ho. If they don't give Zach, if you don't give Troy from High School Musical a goddamn Academy Award, I will be pissed. I was pissed about them not giving it to Leo for so many years. I'm gonna be pissed that they don't even give that boy a nomination. Because for him to literally guide us through what it's like to actually go through it as a fan, because it's without spoiling it, you will feel bad for him the moment you see his character play on screen. You will automatically sympathize with him for so many reasons. For what him and his brothers go through, for even what the parents, their role in everything was like. And the one person I didn't expect to have so much focused empathy on that I did, like after watching the film, was Mike. That when you see it, you will see like, oh wow, like that hit me like a ton of bricks.
That
I'm
was
like,
rough.
that was rough to watch what he goes through. Like to the point where I'm in the theater and there's a scene that plays and I'm staying here. I'm like, wait, hello, like is no one seeing what I'm like? What the heck is this? So it's just one of those movies, and I think that's why we need more wrestling movies. Like people joke around,
I
like
agree.
why don't we have a Vince McMahon movie? Listen, if somebody wants to put on a Vince McMahon, Vince just need to sit down in his chair and be like, listen,
You can't tell that man's story in 2.5, 3 hours.
you
That
can't.
needs like a
movie I
fucking.
went to.
He needs a series.
He needs a series.
He needs his own version of The Crown. Let's put it that way.
I want a Bret Hart movie. I want a movie on the Hart family. I was thinking about that. I would love a movie.
That would
on
be
the
a
Hart
good
family.
one.
I feel
That
like
a lot of like ups and downs and
with the
It's called
wrestling
The
bear.
Dungeon.
yeah. I
Called
feel
The
like
Dungeon,
literally
and it's all about the Hart family. Boom. You're
I
welcome,
feel like
Hollywood.
him. I feel like it's just certain people that need. Who do you guys think needs a biopic movie off the top of your head?
A Charlotte Flair one will be hella interesting, where it's like you're a Division 1 athlete playing something completely different. Your father is Ric Flair. Your brother passes away, and then you do a
that's a
humongous career
great
pivot
story.
into WWE and wrestling on top of the personal life behind the scenes stuff with Charlotte as well. That's like, this wasn't even my path, and you ended up being one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all fucking time. Like,
No,
Young Rock was good.
Young Rock was good, but no, I can literally, aside from agreeing with Justin, besides the fact that I can literally see if they want to give us the full McMahon story, you got to do it the Crown style. You got to drop it on Netflix,
Different eras,
or
different
HBO.
eras, or HBO Max. You got to give it
I
to
would
us in
ask
sections.
HBO Max will give it the latitude because of all of Vince's shenanigans, affairs, and stuff like that. You can't put that on NBC, but HBO will gladly be like, bro, open.
Because I feel like
let's
it's
go.
interesting. You even hear like Jim Cornette. And it's funny, I always think of Jim Cornette because Jim Cornette is like Vince McMahon is someone who eats, sleeps, and breathes wrestling. He's like, I don't even know if he's ever been to the supermarket. Like he's just all about wrestling. And I've heard people
Big two of a
He's
kind.
all about WWE.
Yeah, like he's all about like his brand. Like they don't even know if he's been to like a movie or anything like that. Like recently, he's probably been to one because he ain't got much to do. But they don't know if he's like that.
Mustache.
Leave the mustache
I
alone,
heard
y'all.
winning.
Come
So
on.
I know I've heard mixed reactions to Winning Time.
Winning Time is different because you see, like HBO has rolled out the red carpet for Game of Thrones and fucking House of the Dragon and other stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you look at HBO, like that's one reason why I will never ever quit Max, because their original series library is fucking second to none.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking The Wire, The Sopranos, The Corner, Game of Thrones, and Boardwalk Empire, Sex in the City.
Yeah.
Insecure.
Yeah, definitely.
Insecure.
It's my favorite.
Winning Time was good.
Like they fucking like, bro.
And Jeannie Buss, I think the biggest misconception of the Buss family hated it. Jeannie Buss loved it. I listened to her on the podcast.
She did.
She said like she loved it. She was, kind of upset that it kind of got canceled because at the time it wasn't canceled. She said she was really hoping to see that we would get into like the Kobe and Shaq years and stuff.
Oh, I can imagine.
I don't think we need to. I don't agree with Black Thought's comment.
I do not want this movie at all.
I don't want that.
I will flat out.
I think for the sake of his son and his daughter, I feel like respectfully, and it's not even based on what it's about. I think it's just the way that family was treated after never sat right with me. The way the Von Erichs are treated, like the way Kevin has been treated and always welcomed and always appreciated, is way different than how David and his family and even how Nancy, her family was treated. I just think that it wasn't right. I don't think that for his sake, for you to not care about how he's doing or how he's feeling or how anything went on with him and then just be like, oh, let's do a biopic on your family because everything. No, I think the world got the Dark Side of the Ring episode and that's all they deserve to get, in my fair opinion.
Kevin
Von Erich is on AEW TV.
Wait, I must be delayed because I don't see it. I'm delayed.
Oh, shit.
I'm live streaming.
This is so cool. Oh my god.
So as the chat knows, we watch AEW as a family.
So I need to exit. I need to exit and go back in.
Oh, the boys are gonna get a shot at AEW Rampage.
Okay. That is awesome.
Oh, I was hoping they
came out.
I was hoping they came out.
You think that's gonna be
he
it?
does later.
I hope not.
I hope not either. That would be such a flop.
I wanted that Von Erich pop.
Me too.
We still got an hour 15. Maybe they come out.
Am I watching a completely different episode than you guys?
Yeah, the Golden Jet's about to come out after the break. Everything, too many stables. They've already had more stables than WWE, and they 5 years old. The Golden Jets, the Golden Lovers. Come on, bro.
So I just missed the entire thing because Kenny Omega just came out.
Yeah,
that was the thing after.
It wasn't as much as I thought it was gonna be.
That's some bullshit, Tony.
No.
Whatever. one family I hope that they follow. I really wish they would do more of a deep dive on The Rock and the whole Samoan. I really want
That would
that.
be
I want that also, and like,
They're still writing that. You know, we only in the third
I'm
inning.
about to
right.
say you
But
don't
that's
know how
fine.
many
We
half
still writing the
cousins,
story,
third
but we're
Why doesn't
still
cousins,
it
fifth
occur?
writing the
cousins.
story. You in this bottom of the third shit. We still writing the story about the crown, even though Queen Elizabeth's gone, but we still get to see it in real time. I just hope. I've never really got into it, but
What
I would
season?
hope to get
Oh,
into it more. No, I'm talking
what
about
was
like
that?
the series of the Samoan family. Like, how is the
Oh,
Rock
okay.
connected, and like how much like what the Usos are representing. Like, I want to know all that because
If
it's
you could
so
figure
many
out that
layers.
entire Samoan line, you should write the damn movie because good luck with that.
Yeah, it's a lot. I want to
absolutely.
know. I want somebody to tackle that. I still
That would
want my
actually
dark
be
side of the ring. I still want my dark side of the ring about Punk though. Maybe someday. Maybe when he's done
good.
the
Well,
3 year
now he's all
contract.
reformed and shit. I actually read somewhere where he's being well received backstage.
Mm-hmm.
He
He's at
is.
the performance center and shit. But I also saw a comment that he took like selfies and photos with like all women backstage for the
No,
most
he
part.
is. Like, he got a picture with.
All the women, but none of the guys is like,
Niggas
and
don't
you really
respect
think
him.
shit is sweet back
Come
there?
on, Phil. Come on,
But
Phil. I need you to get it
Baby,
together.
it's
I
gonna
need you
take
to
some
not.
time. He just got
I.
there.
It's cradle robbing at this point. I need you to stop. Like,
and at the
they're
same
I don't
time,
give
like
a
it's
pick
like
it.
No,
they
I
nigga,
feel
really
like
are.
kind
No,
of
I don't
like
think that. But people are like, yeah. Somebody put out a tweet that thinks he be cheating on his wife. I'm like, do you know who AJ is? Like, she will be
I
at the
doubt
door. She will lock him out of his own house. Like, she like
they're
chick.
soulmates.
They
Mm-hmm.
I
are.
think they're
I'm
gonna
Like,
be
not touching
homeboy
that
said he was
one.
never getting married, and married her.
Yep.
I mean,
I
she's a
would
Latina, so and she one
say
of mine, so
Listen, she be at the door like,
she puts some
how was
sazon
work
on that
today?
thing.
How was work
chicleta,
today?
chicleta.
She be like, how was work today? You listen, Roxanne and Cora the kids now.
Don't make me light it up.
But a lot of them, but you know what is cool though? A lot of them were fans. Like, he has a picture with Lola Vice, and it doesn't
Yeah.
doubt my mind that at the time when he was working in MMA, Lola Vice was also
Fact.
training. So I can get that picture. Roxanne, like, Kiana James has said she's a fan of Punk. Indy Hartwell, like Roxanne and
Oh,
Cora
too.
Jade are his babies. Like, they are his kids. Like,
That
I think Cora
generation
Jade's like,
was
yeah,
transitioning from the Sean Diesel,
right.
Sean Triple H generation, who were fans, to the Punk generation, and Daniel
As a
Yeah.
Bryan.
grown man, like, you know how Randy Orton was literally in a performance center for 2 months straight and only one person, Brian Kemp, got a picture with him? Them boys are not down there to take pictures. Them boys are down there to find out how the hell can I get to where you got.
Yeah,
Girls are gonna geek. I'm sorry. It's CM
because they're not
freaking Punk.
competition.
Not to
Exactly. Like, girls are
mention,
gonna geek.
not to mention, like, all right, so he's taking pictures with all girls, not guys. But the guys aren't fucking stupid. They're like, bro, Punk is here. Our fucking WrestleMania paychecks just went up. That
Yeah,
is
like, they're
money.
trying
That
to
is
get on that
work.
stand
Everybody
That is
deliver card.
thinking
tickets.
like
They're trying to get on that flight to Philly for the free and get on that stand deliver card so that they can be the next in line. That's where my mindset is. I wouldn't be surprised
Mm-hmm.
if Trick Williams was sitting there dogging him left and right. Somebody, yo, dog, how'd you do this? How you do that? What should I do? What should I do?
I
Because
like
look at
that.
Trick,
That's
like,
exactly why I like that he's being well received because
Mhm.
he is home. He's back home and he could teach the new generation a lot of things. So I
mm,
hope that it stays that way. Also, money fucking talks. Like he's
word.
getting a nice little paycheck to do everything that he's doing back in the company.
On top of the veterans that are in WWE, Punk behind closed doors had to have a very long, sincere conversation with him.
That he's
Oh, I'm
basically
sure.
he has to be on a final strike before even getting strikes, because whatever happened in AEW, I feel like even with the discourse with certain people, he was very well received back there too. Like, there, of course, there are people that are going to be tribal and, pick sides. People that were friends with certain people are going to pick sides. People who have seen probably the whole thing with the two tensions made tension, because you got one side who's going to side with him and you got one side who's going to side with everybody involved. Of course, things are going to get awkward. But even
Mhm.
like the one thing that made me realize, okay, maybe it's just he had beef with those people. The whole Sonny Kiss comment, when he met Sonny, she said that, he said that, I want to be respectful of who you are. So what do I call you? For him to go and do that, instead of him being a douchebag, like how, you know, somebody's daddy went to a convention and literally treated a trans wrestler a certain way. For him to do that out of respect shows me that he was like, all right, I'm here to respect everybody, and that's what I'm doing. So I just think that I agree with that comment from Tribal Chief Zoe. But I also just think that let people make their own judgment on people.
Right.
And everything will be fine. Listen, they've messed up a bag. I'm sorry. Like, and I always think about Issa because she said exactly what I wanted to say. Like, and I love me some Luke Perry. I like what Jungle Boy was doing, but if I had to nix the two, sorry.
Yeah,
Luke Perry gotta
go.
go.
Like, that was not even a decision.
You threw away your money. Like, you threw away
You
your
handed
moneymaker.
WWE a potential main eventer, but lost the guy who was bringing your money in hand over fist. You created an entire fucking show for the guy, and now you kick the guy out.
You threw away your money. Like, I'm sorry. I was at Collision in Prudential, honey. There were no black sheets where I was sitting. I sat next to Action Andretti's mama and a couple of mixed fans. There was some empty seats, but it was not blacked out. Even the hard cam had people behind it. And I'm sorry. It is what it is.
It's like WWE giving away Shawn Michaels to WCW in '96.
Right. Like, it's just, no.
Yeah.
Well, shake the tambourine on that note.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head right there.
You really did. You really did. I could see a movie. I could see a movie on that, like Punk coming back and like the drama, because that's like shit everybody could relate to.
Yeah,
like hating your coworker.
You know what that but you know what that movie reminds me of? Do y'all know? Have you ever seen Southpaw? With Jake Gyllenhaal,
Rachel McAdams, 50 Cent.
Without somebody dying, that's kind of similar to what Punk went through, because he was at the prime and then something tragic happens, but his attitude was already at a level to where it was disrupting his work anyway, and then he loses it all when he loses his main focus, and then he has to struggle to get back. It's kind of on the same caliber.
I see it,
but it reminds me of that. His whole Punk's whole thing reminds me of that movie. Well, that's a good topic. Is there any like movie that reminds you of a current storyline?
Oh,
I like anything.
That is interesting to think about, because it's all like art imitating life imitating art. Like it's like all the same shit, which is why, like all the movies we talked about tonight, you don't have to be a fan of wrestling to enjoy those movies. Like it really is just things that we can all kind of like relate to. But I like that storyline question, Seindole. Like that could be something that we talk about in like a future like stream, like storylines. Like what makes a good one? Why
I just thought of one. All right, so you guys have seen Social Network, right?
Yes.
You know how like Zuckerberg and all of them kick Eduardo Saverin out the company? It kind of feels like how Damage Control is doing fucking Bailey. Where like Bailey helped create this shit, helped build this shit. This shit's $1 billion company. All of a sudden, here comes, Eel's now champion. All of a sudden, here comes Asuka and Kyrie, aka Justin Timberlake, fucking, Sean Parker. And now all of a sudden, let's try to wiggle our way quietly to get Eduardo the boot. You're not here. You're absent. You're in New York while we're building to $1 billion franchise.
Interesting.
And
Zuckerberg being Eel, because Eel went from, obscurity to now you're the top dude. You're the champion.
Yeah.
That's definitely a future TWG Fan Club episode.
It really is. I love
start
that.
cooking.
We got to figure out too what we want to talk about next week, because it is the holiday season. I'm like, how can we tie that into Fan Club?
The best wrestling Christmas gifts. I don't know.
That's a good one.
The best
Bring your Santa hats out.
The best
or a gift for 2024. What would you want?
What would be your match, Chris? What would be the best if it was a Christmas gift? What match would you want?
Yeah, there you
go. That's a good one.
Ooh, I
The
know
holiday
I
one.
got you,
themes.
brother. I got you, brother.
Yeah.
I
But
like that one because I got one in mind, and if someone's healthy, it actually can happen.
Let's just
I might be
do
getting mine, but I
fantasy
have a
like
second one.
all time hashtag like Bret Hart, Kurt Angle, but then also possibilities.
So we could do a past and present
Yeah.
Christmas gift one. Like if you could pull one match from the past and one match with current who's in the company right now.
Mm-hmm.
I like
I
that.
love it.
Wow, Ricky. I,
A very merry booking. That could be
I'm not. Ooh.
That's good shit right there.
Hey, that's an episode title.
Ew, ew. So that's what we're gonna talk
Ew.
about next week.
We're gonna be in red and green.
We should definitely be dressed for the
I got my
holiday
Santa hat ready. Damn
season.
it!
I like my white because it looks like snow, and I'm praying that we never get it.
I've read silk pajamas. I'm
That
game.
part.
I've
I
read
had
silk
a couple
pajamas.
of
I'm
ugly
game.
Christmas sweaters. I had the what was it? The Undisputed Era and the OG Club. Like a
I've
couple years
never
ago.
Ooh.
had a wrestling Christmas sweater.
Yeah, they was on sale. Like
Which
They
is
had them in
$20.
and you know what's funny? They
That's
have
what
the
from
Rock and
WWE.
Stone Cold one
Mm.
on WWE on WWE.com still.
I said WWE Network.
I almost did. I did. I miss the network. I miss the network,
Me
man.
too.
Me
Peacock ain't
too.
doing it. Like, you mean to tell me I could watch Evolve and then watch NXT and then watch Raw just to pass the time? Like,
But look, I mean, if WWE going, Endeavor going to get TNA Plus, maybe, just maybe they could be opening the door to have the network back.
Yeah, that would actually be dope. Well, I really enjoyed talking about our favorite wrestling movies, especially in the Iron Claw season, because I really love that movie. I
I
cannot wait
cannot
to
wait
hear
to
your
watch
thoughts,
and there were
Justin.
this.
so
Like,
many more we
I
didn't
really can't.
touch. There were so many more we didn't touch because I just thought of one that was so stupid.
Which one? Because we could
Pro
always do a
wrestlers
part
versus
2.
zombies.
Oh my
Mm.
god. Oh my god. So yeah, we'll definitely do a part 2, because then I also like, somebody tweeted us like, is Jingle All the Way count as a wrestling movie?
Yeah.
It got
There's a movie.
You
There
know,
was a
got
movie
maybe we
called.
did. Yeah,
There's a
Goddamn.
movie on Netflix called The Main Event, and I suggest everybody watch it
that
just
is
for
so
laughs. It's actually
cute with
cute.
the New
The movie is
Day.
cute with the New Day and Mia Yim was appearing
Yeah,
in
that's
it, and
a
it's
cute
so.
one. And then like the
We definitely got to do a
Sling,
part
like
two.
the Spider-Man movie with Macho Man, like
Yeah.
there, yeah. So we'll definitely do a wrestling movie part 2
Bonesaws ready.
for sure.
I got
And then
3 minutes
we
with
talked
you.
about CM Punk.
3 minutes of
Nobody.
playtime.
CM Punk was in a movie called Queens of the Ring, but no one talked about it. It was him and Eve Torres were in it, and it was actually a pretty decent like film. The synopsis of it is really interesting. So that we gotta do a part 2. There's a lot we
We'll
didn't
definitely do
cover,
a part
but
2.
I
And
love it.
Andre just came up with a good one. Wrestling episodes and TV sitcoms, because in the 90s and the 2000s, there's a lot of wrestling references, because it's like it's so popular, you kind of have to talk about it. So yeah, we'll definitely do a part 2. We'll even maybe mix, more of the wrestling TV, because even when we did that episode, I feel like there was some stuff that we didn't get into. So we'll definitely do a part 2. But I
Did
want to
y'all watch
thank.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Brian.
Oh, I
No, I
love
said,
me
did
some
y'all watch
Timeless Tony
Unhappily Ever
Storm.
After?
Mm-mm.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, that was definitely like wrestling related, and it was funny because it
Yeah.
was at the apex when the first episode is he finds her like on the road and helps her. And he wants to go back and watch wrestling and watch Mankind, and so you could tell where like the business was at the time. This is when everybody wanted a piece of WWE because it was just so hot.
It really was. Okay, yeah. So, well, I can't wait, honestly, now to do a part 2. We might have to do it next month, right when people are seeing the Iron Claw, so we can kind of keep the momentum going. But I want to thank my crew. I want to thank our VIP for joining us every week. Andre, Rikarsha, Smooth Blackman, Keith. I see Tribal Chief, Cult 603. We got some new people in the club as well. I hope you had a good time. Tell all your wrestling friends and fans and stuff, like, come to the club every Wednesday. We talk about a variety of topics. We talk about TV shows, movies. Sometimes we'll do a spotlight or like an appreciation night for a certain wrestler, unpopular opinions about certain wrestlers and concepts and stuff like that. And it is collaborative. So if there is a topic, just like Andre just suggested, something that you want us to talk about, let us know. We can always tweet us, comment, hashtag TWG Fan Club. Yes, what Black Thought said. We be lit in the club. So make sure we are here every Wednesday around 7-ish on Twitch. And you can always watch the playbacks on Twitch and YouTube. Where can everybody find my crew?
Well, you can find me on all social media platforms at It's Justin Rich. You can find me here Wednesday nights, live around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Those Wrestling Girls Twitch channel for TWG Fan Club with myself, these three beautiful, illustrious, amazing co-hosts of mine. You can catch me Tuesday nights, Twitter Spaces on Black Wrestling's handle for Turnbuckle Talk, aka The Buckle, with myself, Mimi, and Corey, where we talk all things wrestling. You can catch me from time to time on True Heel Heat Sports and True Heel Heat Wrestling. Both of those channels are located on YouTube, where we talk sports, wrestling, and all that fun stuff. Your boy was on the True Heel Heat family flagship show Saturday, talking wrestling for 4 hours, just a vibe with me and the boys. Like, we were just like...
It was good. It was funny.
Boys. You the boys. Oh, that's the nasty boys thing.
I would say them boys, but at the same time, I saw how flagrant fucking Twitter got over that. And
put it in the box.
We here, we outside, we active. Wrestling Twitter, y'all need Jesus.
This is facts.
You know your line, Justin. Go outside.
That ain't even my line. Shout out to Cam. Shout out to Seahawk. That's his shit. Go outside, touch grass.
Oh man, we call Seindole the box keeper. But oh man, y'all can find me at Brian H. Waters on all social media platforms, which include TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. Also, this week, catch me on the Masked Man Show, Mondays and Thursdays, and the Wrestling Realm Now podcast tonight. We talking the next generation of superstars, and of course, Wednesday Worldwide, where we talked about CM Punk possibly, hey, she threw the W's up. CM Punk possibly succeeding Shawn Michaels as the head of NXT. That might be what he wants to do next. And then, of course, we talked about, y'all should hear Cal go off about a possible Jake Paul versus Logan Paul match at WrestleMania.
Oh, wow.
Fucking Cal, Jesus Christ.
Just go to Ring of Wrestling. There's a tweet. I worked hard on that video. It's right there. Check it out.
Me and Justin both put our heads down. Like,
And then last but not least, breaking through glass ceilings on all social media platforms. I think I might be able to squeeze an episode in this week, but if I don't, I'll catch y'all next week.
Go ahead, girl.
And per usual, it's your honorary wrestling girl, Seindole B. And you can catch me on YouTube, where I will be vlogging these wrestling events that I went to all year. The video will drop when I feel like dropping that bomb, baby. Well, you can also catch me on my social media, Reload Relive. You can catch me on Instagram and TikTok. You can also catch me on Twitter, calling y'all out on your BS at Relive Via Film. Also, I'm here in the club with the three best friends that anybody can have every Wednesday on a fan club. And let me tell you something, Seindole is cooking up something nice for the end of the year, which will be the second round of rating the top matches in 2023 with these illustrious people up here. And she will also be joined by the girls from School in Sessions. One half of those wrestling girls, KRISTA B, Pablo the Don, and CRISPA CONTRERAS. And we are also getting ready to drop something so special that it will make your mouth shiver. So stay tuned, because the year may be ending, but I'm just getting started. Take us out, Queen P.R.
Hey. Hey.
Someone pass the collection plate.
I love that.
And don't drop no coins.
We do got some stuff cooking. We do have a big year ahead of us, but we're going to be recapping this year with, like Seindole said, the rest of our crew for a collision episode. So stay tuned for that. We all got projects going on. We all outside. We all out here. I love it. And I love our crew. I love our VIP. And I love being here with you guys every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern on Twitch. And we are out of here.
Bye, babies. The club is